the Illuminati. Once we at war with these devils. Did you strap up your combat boots yet?
Warning, warning, warning. Self-destruct sequence 3, activated. 2, 1.
Sometime I need a little something, babe, to help me pass away the time of day. 'Cause I ain't been doing nothing but drinking and thinking, yeah. Oh, since you been away. Oh, come on, babe. Can't you see that I need your love? I'm falling in your arms. Come on home, yeah, baby. Yeah. I confess that I've been wrong.
It's your boy Flat Archie 5000 about to hit you with another one of these isms for your medulla oblongata. You dig? I gotta keep it real as always. What I'm gonna talk about today in this video is going to be about a brother by the name of Big Meech. Big Meech is from Detroit, and him and his brother was out there in Texas. Brother was out there in Texas. His brother name was Southwest T, and Big Meech was known for creating his powerful base out here in Atlanta. Me being from New Jersey, when I came out here in Atlanta for the first time back in 1998, that was actually the first time I actually even heard of a group called BMF. The stories that I was hearing when I first came out here, it was hard to believe. It was hard to believe. And I remember riding on the highway, I believe it was 85, and I seen a big sign, a big black and white sign right in the middle of the highway, and it said, BMF runs the world. I said, and after the stories that I heard, I said, wow, these cats right here, they really doing their thing. It's not too often you're going to see a sign out in the middle, in a place like Atlanta, and BMF runs the world. Now, when I actually saw the sign, based upon the stories that I heard, the first thing that came to my mind was, okay, these cats is running the world by selling drugs. I didn't even know anything at the time about them, the Blue Da Vinci dealing with the music. He wasn't even, known out here at that time as far as musically. You know what I'm saying? I just knew the terminology BMF, and I seen the sign, and right from there, based upon the stories that I was hearing, I was like, wow, that's real bold. That's real. They're real bold to put a sign out, because BMF, it meant Black Mafia Family, and like I said, I didn't associate the sign with any form of music. I just associated it with, a group of brothers who was out here that was known drug dealers that was getting money, because that's the way I actually heard it. But, to really, get to, the meat of the story, is that these brothers were, they act like the system of white supremacy did not apply to them. I mean, when it was a time period where they used to create a lot of videos, and they used to circulate it out here in Georgia, Atlanta, and they were circulated all throughout the United States, but it was pretty much big out here in Atlanta at the time. And they would show it was a whole bunch of videos that they would make, BMF videos, and the videos were pretty much it had the undertone, the obvious undertone, that they were making their money going from state to state selling drugs. I seen another video with Big Meech himself. He made a video, and he said that he pretty much implicated himself as being the leader of the BMF crew that was known all throughout Georgia as being drug dealers. You know what I'm saying? And I said, "Wow, you acting like you immune from being locked up from the feds." I don't know. I'm gonna say this. He has to be intelligent for him to create a crew as powerful and as strong as they were, as far as getting the type of money that they were getting. Because from state to state, they had houses, they lived in mansions, they drove the most expensive cars. Cars that only millionaires could drive. But you would see these brothers. It was like they was promoting the fact that they were selling drugs. It really wasn't like, okay, well, we BMF, and we just out here making music, and this is how we make our money. No, the brother got in front of a camera, and said that he was the leader of BMF, and that his crew is strong and powerful, and they have connections from state to state, and there's no crew that he can see that would he pretty much saying that they're unstoppable, and there's no way that they're going to be unstopped, and there's no other black crew that's ever going to come after them that's going to match the fame and fortune and the prestige and power that they pretty much have at that specific point of time. And me, having knowledge yourself, I'm saying, wow, man. I'm all for, so-called black unity, unification. We got to get it however we can get it. So, I salute them for that. But for you to think that there's no consequences and repercussions to your actions, and coming in front of the world, pretty much promoting the fact that you make your money by selling drugs. You and your crew is out here, you had Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? That was actually the first rapper that I knew that was affiliated with BMF before I even heard of Blue Da Vinci at the time. Everybody knew of Jeezy, and even within his music, you can't ban the snowman. Everything he was talking about was selling drugs. And I was like, yo, these brothers out here is bugging. These brothers bugging. But then you had his brother, Southwest T. He was real low key. He didn't, he wasn't like how the brothers out here in Atlanta was. These brothers would go inside strip clubs and throw up, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 up in strip clubs and buy out the bar. And that was something that was known all throughout Atlanta. That these brothers were drug dealers, and these cats was out here getting money, and they was getting real money. And if BMF is coming in the club, they shutting it down. If you got your woman with you and you in that club, man, and you ain't part of the crew, then you best beware. Because if she look like something and one of them BMF brothers, they claim her, she's gone. She's gone. Unless you got a woman who's real strong on her square and she really respects her man. But at that time, man, they was making so much money, man. You could bring your wife into the club, and one of those brothers step up, man, and brother got a Lamborghini outside, and $60,000, $70,000 in his pocket, man. If your shit wasn't tight, man, she was gone. She was gone in the wind, brother. You can kiss her ass goodbye. You know what I'm saying? That's how bold they were, with their power and their prestige, man. But on a really real, my thing is this: how is it that you could be so naive to the system of white supremacy? You act as if you were you were immune to it, man. And I'm sitting back scratching my head like, who do these brothers think they are? I mean, it's it was crazy. It was ludicrous. And for him being for Big Meech to be a leader, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, what was going on in your head for you to for you to be as bold as you was, as if there was no consequences and repercussions to your actions. You know what I'm saying? My main thing is this: if you're a leader and you're claiming to be a leader, you should have some form of knowledge of history and have some form of idea of what it is that we are up against. I'm under the impression that the brother was making so much money, he was just blinded by the money, and he thought that he was pretty much Mr. Untouchable, like as if he was like John Gotti, Al Capone or something. You know what I'm saying? As if he was, a Rothschilds or Rockefellers, man. Brother, you doing 30 years in jail for being ignorant and stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna call it what it is. It was being ignorant and stupid, man. I ain't gonna implicate myself, man. But I was in the game. I was in the game. Getting bread, doing it that, and I wouldn't. And the money that I had, I wasn't buying no fancy cars. You know what I'm saying? I bought something nice, but I wasn't buying no fancy cars where the first thing you could say, you could look at me and say, oh well, oh he's definitely a drug dealer. Because at the time I ain't had no job. You know what I'm saying? I was rolling, but I knew how to roll low key. These brothers didn't want to be low key. I mean, the sign, the cars, the videos that you were creating, man. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You act like, and then on top of that, Georgia is the hometown of the Klan. You know what I'm saying? The politicians here in Georgia, don't take too keenly of so-called black people getting out of pocket, getting out of their bridges, and thinking that they are more than niggers. You know what I'm saying? You had that energy, you had that aura, as if you were like you had a military behind you, like you really had like some National Guards and some Green Berets behind you that were by the millions. And if the Europeans were to step to you, you could really back them down. Like you really thought that you had that type of power, you had that type of influence, man. But obviously you had to learn the hard way, man. Like I said, I don't wish jail on nobody, man. But just being ignorant and stupid is no excuse, man. And like I said, for you to build up the type of conglomerate and that you had, you can't be stupid, but you got to be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So you got stupid people, you got smart people who do a lot of stupid shit. And I think that's where Big Meech actually falls into. He falls into that bracket of being a real smart individual, but he was doing a lot of stupid shit, and he had to learn the hard way, just like a Suge Knight. You know what I'm saying? As if you are more powerful than the system of white supremacy. Now, I mean, if you are, then hey, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? We could do this together. But you had to learn the hard way, man. I just had to, throw my 2 cents into that right there. It's your boy Flat Archie 5000. I'm out. Peace.